Welcome back. All in all, it's been a fairly low-key and peaceful day. I had some strange dreams last night. I'm not going to go into the details of that, but it sort of left a unique resonance after I woke. There's really not much to add as far as an update beyond that. I did some research earlier. I had some work I had to do, and as is usually the case, the hours have slipped by. It's not terribly late, thankfully, so I'm not exactly horrendously behind schedule, but I still have things that need to be taken care of before the night's over. I'm going to do 2 readings as usual. Our letters have shifted for this reading, moved from J to D for whatever reason. These 2 readings are going to be for 2 friends of mine, Diana and David. I'm going to take a moment here to prepare myself and then see what the cards have to say. I will mention while I'm resting here, the channel that I have referenced several times in previous videos, Sears Cottage. I know that she has posted I think 2 new videos today. I haven't had time to watch them, so I can't speak to the content. If I can remember, I'll link to them though, so that you can go and check them out. I'm pretty sure one is a reading for the week, and the other one I'm not certain about. It's something about like a reading for someone named M, like in quotation marks. So, but there again, I don't know the details on that. I did not get any messages or impressions that the number of the cards in the spread should be changed. So these will be the standard 5-card spread. And as I mentioned in the video yesterday, these readings are not focused on a set period of time as far as a month is concerned. The readings extend for 33 days. That's the message that I got, so that's what I'm going with. So 33 days starting today. Take a moment here to say hello to the cards. Okay, I'm going to pause for a moment here and ground my energies. Take a moment to connect my energies to the cards and to connect this first reading with Diana. Okay. Card's not ready just yet. Okay. It's a positive card for a beginning, for a status card. Okay. Your status card is "Oh No." May be very difficult to see because of the lighting on the cam. The intuitive message that came when I turned this card over is simply a lightheartedness in the face of some type of incident, occurrence. Um, it's an approach to a problem, but it's also speaking very strongly of a feeling of just, laughter, ease, being able to look beyond what might be considered difficult circumstance, and take it in stride. So definitely I'm getting humor and goodness and light from this card. So I think it's a very good place to start. Okay. Hmm. Card that has come up a lot lately. Hmm. Okay. All right. Your challenge card for the 33 days is the Sorcerer. Immediately when I turned this card over, I got this strong feeling and message of a dwelling on the shadow self, quote unquote, which isn't really shadow, but it's speaking to dwelling on a self-perceived fault or issue or problem. Also, there's a strong message, and I was drawn to this large ear of this gnome or this dwarf character, and it's speaking to listening to others and how their opinions or views or judgments are sort of seeping into the self, and there's a spiraling of this challenge because of that. Those those influences are increasing the intensity of this challenge. Definitely, though, therein, this is about the self and seeing the self in a certain light. Um, Quite possibly something like I should have achieved this thing, or I should have reached this point, or I should have done something. This is very much about regret and self-reflection, viewing the self in some sort of skewed view, and that's being fed by these outside sources. So definitely an interesting challenge. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Another card that has come up recently. Hmm. Okay. Your tool or resolution card is the pan. The strong intuitive message that came when I turned this card over was this feeling of the joy of youth and the joy of freedom. This card is speaking to that lack of judgment. It's speaking to what we go through in our childhood, typically, where there's this feeling of self acceptance and just being who you are. and not being concerned with any kind of boxes or preconceived notions. It's just simply about a state of being. There's a freedom and a lightness to that. Also, there's a very strong message, and I was drawn to this immediately when I saw the card. There are these figures below Pan as he's flying through the air here, and they're connected to the roots of this tree, and so this is also about being rooted to the true self. Also, it speaks to guardians or ancestors, guides watching over you, and sort of giving you and granting you that permission to be free without worry. The strong feeling here is the innocence of childhood and the viewing and living without bias, which therein it speaks to ignoring those sources, and letting go of that judgment. It's a very freeing card, very positive for a solution or a tool card. This is also speaking, the more I'm looking at it now, it's also speaking to self-care. To some degree, when we're children, we are self-absorbed, in that sense that we don't have these greater preconceived notions of what we're supposed to be doing or what's going on in the world, etc. We're in sort of a small bubble. This is definitely speaking to nurturing the inner self, doing things for yourself, having fun, and enjoying life. All in all, a very positive approach to that problem. Card's not ready yet. Hmm. Wow. Okay. All right. Your resolution or outcome card is the Queen of Passage. This card is reversed. I will turn it up so that you can see it. Immediately when I turned this card over, the message that came through here is one of balance, and it also speaks to the power of the self. In the figure in this card is holding a heart in her hand, and she's wearing this necklace, which is sitting where her heart would be. The heart in her hand is red, it's vibrant, it's powerful, and the heart there, or the pendant, is dark. This outcome card is definitely speaking to a sort of scaled balance, almost a 50-50 of, you are in control of your own path, and so ultimately you will choose your outcome here. This is speaking to the fact that there again you're in control, and I do get that impression of scales. There are elements of a lot of light in this card. There's also a lot of darkness. I was also drawn to this figure near this woman, which is some type of bird, a falcon perhaps or something, and this is further speaking to what you had here in the pan card with these ancestors and these guides watching over you. This is speaking to the fact that they are there and that they can aid you. They can be of assistance in this process if you allow them. But with this card being reversed, I'm getting to some degree a partial duality there and saying therein it's all up to you. Their voice is not going to overshadow your decision. They're going to be there no matter what you decide. So this is definitely just like the beginning and the challenge card. This is about the self and what choices you make. Okay. Card's not ready yet. Okay. Okay. Alright, your personal card is the Star Fairy. And it is another reverse card. I will turn it up so that you can see it. As I always say, take some time and find your own message in this card because it will speak directly to you. The intuitive message coming from this card, it harkens back to your outcome card in the sense of duality. The star figure in the card is illuminated, and the background of the card is basically like darkness and emptiness. Yet again, it's also speaking to this connection and communion, in a sense, with these spirit guides. I get a very strong spirit presence from this card. My impression here is also that the card is saying there again, it is a choice, and whether you choose to embrace, your guides or try to glean something from their guidance, or follow your own path, that'll determine whether you move toward the light or the darkness. A lot of energy in this card. Even though this card is reversed, I don't get an impression that it is a negative energy. There again, this whole reading very strongly speaks to me duality and personal choice. I'll show you the card again. As I said, certainly take some time to study the image, find your own meaning in it. There is something here specifically for you. And as I always say, if you have further questions about your reading or any type of concerns, certainly let me know. I'll be more than happy to look at the reading further, or try to aid you in whatever way I can. So yeah, all in all, I think it was a pretty positive reading. I'm gonna put these cards back in the deck and allow the deck some time to disperse some of those energies. Okay. Shuffle the deck here for a moment, and then I will move on to the next reading. I'm supposed to turn those. Okay. Card's not ready yet. Another card that has come off recently. Okay. Your status card is the Thief. The intuitive message that I got very strongly when I turned this card over is this impression of trying to think of exactly how to word it. This impression of being self-sufficient, being capable of handling whatever situations arise. There's a confidence and an ease coming from this card. Also, there's a strange discrepancy in this card, and I don't know if that was intentional or a misprint for the deck, but it's up here, it's up high, almost to the extent of the crown chakra. This is speaking to me of that connection of body and mind and spirit on a higher level, a higher vibration. And this unity of spirit and body, I think, is empowering the message of this card of stability, of capability. Also, too, I'm getting, to some degree, kind of a somberness in this card. It's almost like a knowing, and that knowing is causing a level of separation. There's a little bit of sadness to this card. I don't necessarily think that it's bad. It's all perception based. All in all, I think this is a very good start. There's a nice duality and mix of light and dark in this beginning card. Okay. Hmm. Okay. All right. Your challenge card is the Captive Man. The intuitive message I'm getting from this card and the strong feeling is, in some ways, this feeling of being torn in many different directions. Even though this card is reversed, I'm getting a whole lot of this energy of being surrounded by others, and there's a lot of expectation, a lot of responsibility, and it's sort of creating this electrical storm. There again, there's lightning in this card in the illustration here. There's almost a feeling of isolation from this card as well because of that responsibility, particularly because of being surrounded so much and being pulled. It's like a feeling of being a lighthouse on a shore, stretched too thin, and almost a burden being placed on your shoulders. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of chaos in this card. Card's not ready. Okay. Card from our last reading. Very fitting for a challenge card. Okay. Your solution card here is Oh No. And therein I'll apologize for the lack of clarity of the image on the screen. I'm using really limited technology. Basically, in this card, you have this figure in the center, balanced on a mushroom, and he's got his tongue sticking out, and his eyes are sort of going in different directions. He has this very sort of ludicrous expression on his face. And this card speaks directly to the use of humor and ease when faced with excessive challenge or excessive burdens. This is being able to be lighthearted and to roll with the punches, and to find humor in ludicrous situations. So I think this is a very fitting card to appear here as a tool or a solution card. I'm getting this strong repetitive message now, and it's a thing by Bill Hicks where he's talking about, life is just a ride. I mean, it's just a thing, an experience that you go through. So excessive worry over it is kind of a joke, So I was told to put that out there. Card's not ready. Okay. Another card that has come up a lot recently. Okay. Alright. So your outcome card here is the Queen of Owls. It is reversed. I'll show it to you this way so that you can see it more clearly. Now, although this card is reversed, when I turned it over, the intuitive message and energy drew me to a point of this central figure. She's illuminated, but there's a small orb of energy right here, right at her third eye. And there's a strong voice in this card saying, trust your instincts. Also, therein, all the figures in this card around the central figure are the same sort of blurred, mute brown color. And this is speaking to that trusting of the instinct and letting this chaos and these elements that are pulling you in different directions, letting that sort of bleed or just be what it is. Because the focus here is that inner wisdom and trusting your instinct and your heart. Your intuition, as well. I would almost say that this card also is speaking to balance, but I really don't think it is, because there is such a shining, brilliant force, particularly there in that space, illuminated at her third eye, and around her head and moving down her body. It really overshadows all the other figures in this card. So intuitively, I'm getting the impression that this card is speaking there's a greater probability of a positive outcome from this card, you know, a useful outcome of moving forward in a good way in the future. All in all, I think a very good outcome card. Card's not ready yet. Okay. Wow. Okay. Alright. So your personal card for this 33 days is the Shadow of the Past. And it is, yet again, another reverse card. I'll try to show it to you in a way that you can actually see it without the light bleaching it out so badly. There again, this is your personal card. You will find a meaning and a resonance in this card that may or may not be the same thing as my interpretation. So immediately when I turned this card over, there were a lot of different impressions. Some of them were really fast and some of them were slow in coming through. I do get the impression that this deals with the past. Also, though, there's this feeling of there's a lot of greenery in this card, even though it's actually not colored green. I'm feeling like a maturity of some kind of investment, like a seed was planted in the past, and this card is speaking to, you know, a spring growth. And it's very fruitful, whatever this is, you know, whether it's a job. I'm getting the impression that this deals with a person, either a friendship or a romantic thing. That's what's coming through to me. As I say, though, certainly, you know, find your own interpretation and message in this card, because something in it will speak directly to you. And as I always say, if you have trouble seeing the images, I know some of these cards, they don't show up well because of the lighting. Simply leave me a message on Facebook or let me know. I can send you a copy, a picture of the card, you know, via the messenger if need be, so that you can see it clearly. All in all, though, I think it's a really positive reading. The Tool card, I think, is very good and functional. And the Outcome card, it was a really positive feeling, a strong vibration of light. So yeah, I think all in all, those 5 cards, these 33 days look pretty good on that note. Particularly too here, as I said, you know, my interpretation of that maturity, very much a blossoming of something good in the future. So yeah, that's about all I have for this reading. I don't have any updates, and as I have said in the past few videos, I'm not sure when the big update will come. Time will tell. But yeah, I hope all of you are well. I send you love and light, harmony and goodness. Yeah. I will speak with you soon.